Wick Chapter 4 is the fourth installment in this John Wick movie franchise. This movie takes place sometime after the events of Chapter 3 Parabellum. At this point, John Wick has allied with the Bowery King. Their plans are to take down the High Table, but the High Table is still going after John Wick. John Wick's basically fully recovered at this point from all the beatings and ass kickings he's had to deal out and take in the last two movies. Now he's ready to make a real run of the High Table that will hopefully bring them down and ultimately give him the freedom that he has been wanting for the last 2.5 movies. But the High Table's still coming after John Wick, and this time a High Table member, played by Bill Skarsgård, is basically sending all kinds of assassins to go after John Wick to bring him down. Some might be assassins he's formerly acquainted with, some might be assassins coming at him for that bounty on his head. And all the way down, you know there's going to be some serious action and some serious ass kicking in a movie like this. And yeah, I'll just say it right out the gate. If it wasn't already established that the John Wick franchise is possibly the best action movie franchise of the modern day era, I think this movie officially solidified it, because holy fucking shit, this movie is so fucking awesome. First of all, let's just state the obvious right now. Keanu Reeves is the only one who could make a franchise like this go on for so long. When the first John Wick movie came out, I mean, it was just a very personal story about a man whose dog was killed. He was a retired hitman. He came out of retirement because he wanted to get revenge on the people who did that to him. It was a great action movie. It was a great introduction to this world of assassins, but I had no idea that it was going to turn into the franchise and the world that it is now. And a big testament to how it's gone on this long and been this successful for this long goes to Keanu Reeves as John Wick. I mean, once again, John Wick doesn't have a whole lot to say in this movie. I mean, he doesn't have a whole bunch of lines of dialogue. He doesn't have a big epic speech or anything like that. But he just doesn't need to. Yeah, he's a man of few words, but he doesn't need to be talking because he exuberates so much badassery. Just how skilled he is with a gun and really all forms of weaponry, how he can just literally beat guys down who are just so much more bigger than him and more physically imposing than him. I did also hear that like 90% of the stunt work that was done for John Wick was done by Keanu Reeves, so I completely believe that, and again, that's a testament to how well Keanu has committed himself to this role. And again, I just love seeing the fear and the respect that every character in this movie has towards John Wick. I mean, you hear John Wick, they hear Baba Yaga, and everyone is shitting themselves. Also, what I really want to give this movie a lot of props for, that I think it really does, even more so than the previous John Wick movies did, in this one, I was really invested with a lot of the characters that are in this movie. For example, I think Bill Skarsgård as the villain of this movie, I think he's probably the best John Wick villain we have had in a movie. He kind of reminds me of Viggo's son, but if he got a lot more power and became a seat on the High Table. He comes off as that kind of piece of shit. You know, he's smug, he's arrogant, he's entitled, you know, he's one of those guys, like, he clearly runs shit because he didn't actually go out and do anything. He just sends people to do the dirty work. Just right out the gate, he's one of those villains that you just hate and you want John Wick to bring him down and you're just hoping and waiting out for the moment when he does. But yeah, I think the big stand of this movie, I mean, we gotta talk about this right now. Donnie Yen as Kane, the blind assassin in this movie. This guy was fucking awesome. I fucking love the way this guy fights. I fucking love how he takes down multiple groups of people at once. I mean, the guy is blind and he's doing it, but what I love seeing is the fact that he is a blind assassin, is seeing the way he fights, seeing the way he moves. He has to prepare these little cues for himself that someone's around. He has to, you know, use his sense of feel and touch as a way to just navigate through a room when people are there trying to kill him. But more than that, I love seeing the dynamic that he had with John Wick, why they're kind of at odds with each other, what they had in the past, and ultimately why he is doing what he is doing. Kane has a really personal story in this movie, and I'm really glad that they went that route with him. Also, another new character in this movie that I'll get into, Mr. Nobody, who has absolutely no relation to that Nobody movie with Bob Odenkirk. This is a completely different character. He's the assassin that's armed with the dog, because you know you gotta have that in a John Wick movie, and this guy was awesome. He's kind of got that mysterious vibe going for himself, but he is extremely good at what he does. He's going after John Wick, and he's not gonna stop at any cost. Love the dynamic with him and his dog too. It wasn't just a, you know, I have a killing dog and I'm gonna send it to attack people. No, you really feel the pet owner bond between the two. And I loved that. Also, I'm gonna say this much, I think this is the most beautifully shot John Wick movie we have gotten so far. I mean, gorgeous sunset shots, beautiful shots of landscape and desert. There's one desert shot in particular I was like, that is straight up art. And not just filming, but again, seeing more of this world that exists in this John Wick universe. I mean, just seeing more of these Continentals, more of these assassins, more of how it's all connected to all these different parts of the world that are dealing with assassins. You really do see just how much there is out there. And that's why I do believe, and I'll touch on this more later on, that this is a franchise that could expand and grow beyond even the John Wick character himself. And yeah, let's just finally delve into it right now. The action in this movie is just fucking unbelievable. Whether it's shootout scenes or hand-to-hand combat scenes, it's so great and it's so intense and it's so well shot and well filmed. And what I loved is just how real it felt. None of it felt like completely over the top and ridiculous. I mean, some people maybe survived some things that could have killed them, sure, but none of it felt like convenient. Like maybe an action scene is going down and certain shit's happening, and you know, a lot of action movies will take the route like, okay, put this there because that'll be convenient, or put this there because that's gonna help the character. Nope, it's not there. It's like, this is circumstances where you're fighting, this is the shit that's gonna go down, and it's not gonna exactly help you. And I gotta say this much right now, certain aspects of fighting are in this movie that we just haven't seen before yet, and it's so fucking entertaining. John Wick uses nunchucks in this movie, and apparently he's really fucking good at nunchucks because why wouldn't he be? There's one action scene in particular, this is the one that really stood out to me, but John Wick is going from room to room, he's like armed with a dragon breath assault rifle, something like that, just killing bad guys, but the way it's shot, it's like panning over the room or the hotel or whatever it was he was in, I can't quite remember, but it's following him throughout each room as he's just taking guys out one by one, and it's all this one continuous take, and I'm just like, how long is this action scene gonna go on for? It's awesome. The fact that they did all of this continuously, people just getting shot at, people fighting one another, the fact that they made all of that one continuous take, whether it did or not, or it's just great editing, however it was done, it was genius. And that's what I'll say right there. The action, it goes on for so long and it doesn't stop. It's an adrenaline thrill ride, and it is some serious shit, especially when you get to the final act of the movie. That is the kind of stuff that really gets you on the edge of your seat. I would say if there's a flaw that I would have with a movie like this, and I don't even know if it's really a flaw or if it's just my own kind of shit, but I will say some action scenes, because they don't stop and they go on for so long, sometimes there are brief moments that I was kind of taken out of it for a minute. I wasn't like completely sucked in, so some moments maybe happened that I kind of forgot about or kind of just flew right past me. Again, I have such bad ADD, so that could just be a me problem. It could be one of those like, you know, if I watch this movie again, I can probably pay more attention to those scenes and I can be like, okay, no, it was just me, you know. It was just my mind wandering. I guess what I'll just say right there, I mean, this movie is damn near 3 hours long, and you know, they make the most of their action scenes, but I will say, I think the ending of this movie is poetic. I think it's great. I think it absolutely suits the movie. Some people may not love it, but for me, I thought it completely worked for it. So all in all, John Wick Chapter 4, I thought it was awesome. Keanu absolutely kills it in this movie. There's nobody else in the world who could play John Wick like he does. I absolutely love the entire supporting cast in this movie. I love seeing all these other assassins, and kind of what I was alluding to earlier. I really hope a lot of these characters get their own spinoffs. I know we have one John Wick spinoff coming out, I think, either next year, maybe in a couple of years, but I would love to see a character like Kane get his own movie. Keep exploring on these characters, keep exploring on these Continentals. Make this franchise go beyond John Wick himself. The movie is shot beautifully, the action scenes, the fight scenes, they are entertaining as absolute fuck. I think this is by far and away the best of the John Wick sequels. It might also be the best of the John Wick franchise itself. I'd have to think about that a little bit more. I also probably have to watch this movie again, which I absolutely intend to. And in the end, gonna make a prediction right now, I think this is absolutely gonna go down as my favorite action movie of the year. I know, we still got movies like Mission Impossible and Indiana Jones coming out, and, you know, hopefully they crush it, and they're really good, but I just don't think anything's touching John Wick Chapter 4. I don't see how it's gonna happen. This movie's fucking awesome. So that's all I'm gonna say, guys. Thank you so much for watching my video, and as always, don't forget to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you all next time.